اللهم بما علمتنا وزدنا علما يا رب العالمين. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to increase us in knowledge, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept from us and continue to bless us. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. So inshallah, moving forward with the Tajweed sessions that we've been doing. Last time we finished up on all the rules of mudud, med, the prolongations. And inshallah, as we discussed today, we'll be moving on to makharij al-huruf. Now, makharij al-huruf, what does makharij al-huruf mean? Makharij al-huruf means the pronunciation of each letter as it is due. For example, we have the alphabet, and each letter in the alphabet is, for example, we have A, B, C, D. Each letter has its sound, each letter has its point of articulation, or where the letter comes forth from. Same thing in the Arabic language, that all the letters from the Arabic alphabet, they have a point of articulation. And this point of articulation mainly stays the same, but is affected depending on the vowel upon which the letter has. For example, a qaf with the fatha, or a qaf with the kasra, or a qaf with the dhamma would be a little bit different than its counterparts. So, moving forward, inshallah, what we'll do is we will begin from the first letter and move down to the last letter, inshallah, in the Arabic alphabet. So, as we all know, the first letter in the Arabic alphabet is alif, right? And alif has, let's say, two siblings. It has alif, waw, and then you have ya. Now, all these three letters are very similar, but they have different uses. Now, if I were to say alif, then alif comes from a certain place in the throat. It is not exactly, it's towards the maybe 30% down from the top of the throat. Alif, alif. And alif has the same sound as A. When you say the alif when you say alif, you can feel where it is. So it will be maybe 30% down from the bottom, from the top of the throat. Alif is very close to A, and when you read alif, you will put. So before we move forward, inshallah, that we have one thing, that to find the makhraj of a letter, you put an alif before it with a fatha. So if I want to find the makhraj for a ba, I say ab. Or if I want to find the makhraj of ta, I say at. If I want to find the makhraj of jim, I say aj. So alif, I think we all know how to pronounce alif, alhamdulillah. Alif, a, e, u, these are all variants of alif. Now moving forward, we have ba. Ba is one of the letters of the lips. The lips are known as ash-shafatayn. And there are 4 letters of the ash-shafatayn. Now, inshallah, we'll get to those other 4 letters when we go through the alphabet. So right now we have ba. Ba comes from the lips closing together. I cannot have ba without my lips closing. For example, if I try to say ba without my lips closing, I end up with a. Or I cannot say ba at all. The only way I can say ba is if my lips are touching. Ba, ba, ba. And ba is the same sound as in English. I would say bear, or ball, or a beard, or boat. So it's the same exact sound, ba. And it only comes from closing the lips together. Ba, 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 bi, bu, bait. Bait means house, bait. Or, for example, bab, or buyut. These are all letters, these are all words that start with ba. Or abiyad, or bayd. These are all words that start with ba. And ba is a very easy letter. It comes from the lips. So one thing to remember is that you cannot have ba without closing the 2 lips, ba. Moving forward, we have ta. Ta comes from the teeth. Ta is one of the teeth letters. And you have ta, the teeth have to be closed. The teeth have to be closed. The tongue has to be behind the teeth. Ta, ta. Now, if I want to say find the makhraj of ta, I put the alif with the fatha before it and I say at, at. Now, many people say at, and this is too heavy. At is making it too heavy, and other people say at. That's not putting, there has to be a small whisper at the end of ta. After I pronounce the ta, there has to be a very small whisper, and that's the air hissing through when I make the sound of ta. For example, if I say, وَلَئِن قُتِلْتُمْ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ أَوْ مُتْتُمْ, not muttum, or not muttum, right? Muttum, أَوْ مُتْتُمْ لَمَغْفِرَةٌ مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَرَحْمَةٌ خَيْرٌ مِّمَّا يَجْمَعُونَ. Let me see if I can find some examples, inshallah. I don't have any examples with me, so for example, we can go through the beginning of Surah Al-Baqarah. Alif Lam Mim Dhalika al-kitabu kitabu. You can hear that small, very small hiss at the end, and you can feel free to try on your own, inshallah. Dhalika al-kitabu kitabu la rayba fihi hudan lilmuttaqin. Now, T, the letter T in English is very similar. I wouldn't say it's 100% similar, but it is very close to the articulation of ta in the Arabic alphabet. Just to be sure that whenever you say ta with sukoon, there has to be that hissing sound. At. Now, not too much. I don't say at. That's too much. And I don't not do it at all. I don't say at. That's completely stopping. There has to be a very small hiss, very small flow of air at the end. At. Moving forward, so we did alif, ba, which is from the lips, and then ta from the teeth. Now we have tha. Tha is also from the teeth, but is with the teeth working with the tongue. Now, a very common mistake that many people do is when they pronounce the tha, they make it into seen. And the reason, the difference between seen and tha is that seen, you'll see that your tongue is inside, behind your teeth. So if these are my teeth, my tongue will be inside. For tha, my tongue will actually be in between my teeth. For example, if I say, جَنَّاتٍ تَجْرِي مِن تَحْتِهَا الْأَنْهَارُ ثَوَابًا مِّنْ عِنْدِ اللَّهِ. Tha. My tongue will be here, my teeth, and my teeth. I don't stick it all the way. I don't say tha, or I don't put it inside. I don't say sa or tha. I say tha. Very simple, just let the air flow. Tha. Thawaba. Ath. The trick is to put your tongue between your teeth. That is the main point. Thalatha, yes. For example, in Muddathir, Ya ayyuhal muddathir. Ya ayyuhal muddathir. You can hear the air coming out. Muddathir. And if you hold it long enough, you'll see that your air is coming out. Muddathir. But we don't put that long, we say muddathir. An ayah in Surah Nisa, يُوصِيكُمُ اللَّهُ فِي أَوْلَادِكُمْ لِلذَّكَرِ مِثْلُ حَظِّ الْأُنثَيَيْنِ فَإِن كُنَّ نِسَاءً فَوْقَ اثْنَتَيْنِ فَإِن كُنَّ نِسَاءً فَوْقَ اثْنَتَيْنِ فَلَهُنَّ ثُلُثَا مَا تَرَكَ. Thulutha. You can always see that my tongue is in between my teeth. وَإِن كَانَتْ وَاحِدَةً فَلَهَا النِّصْفُ وَلِأَبَوَيْهِ لِكُلِّ وَاحِدٍ مِّنْهُمَا السُّدُسُ مِمَّا تَرَكَ إِن كَانَ لَهُ وَلَدٌ فَإِن لَّمْ يَكُن لَّهُ وَلَدٌ وَوَرِثَهُ وورث وورث وورثه أبواه فلأمه الثلث فإن كان له إخوة فلأمه السدس. So that's all the examples in the ayah. So I hope inshallah everybody got the tha. So tha is the trick is putting the tongue between the teeth. The teeth are not touching each other, the tongue is blocking them. Moving forward, so we did alif, ba, ta, tha. And the last one we'll do for today inshallah is the letter jim. Jim. Very similar to the English alphabet is the letter J. Now, keep in mind that these letters are similar because all languages have a similar set of sounds that make their words, right? Because there's only so many sounds that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has allowed humans to produce. And all these sounds have some similarity to other languages. But there are differences. Jim will not be exactly that of in English. And English does not have the letter Dad or the letter Ta or the letter Sad. So there are similarities, but they're not exactly identical. Just so English alphabet, we only use it as a tool of assistance or help when we pronounce the letter Jim. Jim, we say edge, edge, edge. Now, Jim is also from the teeth. Edge, edge. You will see that the tongue is pushing against the teeth. Edge. My teeth are closed. My tongue are pushing against the teeth. Edge. Jamal. Jamal. Right? ولا يدخلون الجنة ولا يدخلون الجنة حتى يلج الجمل حتى يلج الجمل في سم الخياط إن الذين كفروا بآياتنا واستكبروا عنها لا تفتح لهم أبواب السماء ولا يدخلون الجنة حتى يلج الجمل في سم الخياط وكذلك نج. Now, as we discussed, qalqala is done on jim. Jim is one of the qalqala letters. The qalqala letters are qaf, ta, ba, jim, and dad, where we do a small bounce on them, right? So if I'm reciting وَكَذَلِكَ نَجْزِي الْمُجْرِمِينَ, I'm not going to say وَكَذَلِكَ نَجْزِي الْمُجْرِمِينَ. I'm not doing the qalqala there. I'm basically constricting the jim. I'm basically holding it down. I'm not letting it bounce. I have to say وَكَذَلِكَ نَجْزِي وَكَذَلِكَ نَجْزِي الْمُجْرِمِينَ. Now, many people, what they do is, they do something called jarayan. Now, jarayan is basically making the jim too loose, right? Saying, for example, وَلَا يَدْخُلُونَ الْجَنَّةَ حَتَّى يَلِجَ الْجَمَلُ. Right? This is incorrect. This is not the sound of jim. Not not This is the incorrect sound of jim. If I say وَكَذَلِكَ نَجْزِل, this is incorrect. Najzil. A lot of people, when they do qalqala, they put the jim sound a bit too harsh. They'll say وَكَذَلِكَ نَجْزِل. And this is too strong. Or najzil, that's too strong. The qalqala actually removes from the strength of just a jim with sukoon. So if I say وَكَذَلِكَ نَجْزِل, that's just sukoon. Now if I do qalqala, the jim becomes lighter. وَكَذَلِكَ نَجْزِل مُجْرِمِينَ. Just a touch on the jim, we bounce and we move forward. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا بِآيَاتِنَا وَاسْتَكْبَرُوا عَنْهَا لا تفتح لهم أبواب السماء ولا يدخلون الجنة حتى يلج الجمل في سم الخياط وكذلك نجزي المجرمين. Now here we have two. We have jim with qalqala, which is how it's supposed to be recited in the Quran. Whenever there's jim with sukoon, then we do qalqala, and then we have the sound itself as we studied the the makhraj or the point of articulation, we know that jim is the when the teeth are closed and the tongue is pushing against them. Ajj, ajj, ajj. And this is just for the sake of knowing where the jim comes from. Ajj, ajj. For help, maybe you could say George or Jack or James. So these are just very close, just to get you towards just to point you into the direction of how jim is pronounced. Ajj, ajj. And one main takeaway from today would be that whenever you want to know the point of articulation or the makhraj or where a letter comes from in the Arabic alphabet, you put alif with a fatha, a, and then you put the letter that you want to pronounce after it, and you put a sukoon on it. Any letter. The letter fa, you say f. The letter jim, you say aj. The letter dal, you say ad. Right? And this is a known rule throughout the Tajweed, that this is how the makhraj of a letter is found. So we say aj, aj. So today we covered 5 letters. Alif, alif, ba from the lips. So we say ba, ba, bait, buyut, or bab, or abwab, abwab. So ba is also one of the qalqa letters. I've neglected to mention that. So today, out of the 5 letters that we covered, ba and jim, both are qalqa letters. Ba, whenever you have a sukoon on it, we would say ab, abwab. So the one ayah that we just read, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَذَّبُوا بِآيَاتِنَا وَاسْتَكْبَرُوا عَنْهَا لَا تُفَتَّحُ لَهُمْ أَبْوَابُ السَّمَاءِ. Ba also has a qalqala. So we don't say لَا تُفَتَّحُ لَهُمْ أَبْوَابُ. That's incorrect. We don't say أَبْوَابُ. We say أَبْوَابُ, أَبْوَابُ, أَبْوَابُ. Just a bounce on the ba. أَبْوَابُ. Not أَبْوَابُ and not أَبَوَابُ. That we don't put the complete fatha either. We say أَبْوَابُ. لا تفتح لهم أبواب السماء. So we covered ba, which is from the lips. Ab, ab, ab. And just for the makhraj, ab, ab, ab. Then we covered ta. Ta comes from the teeth, and there has to be a hissing sound. At, ta. ولا يدخلون الجنة. جنة, ta. Then we moved on to tha. Tha comes from the lips, the teeth. And we put the tongue between the teeth and we let the air flow. للذكر مثل حظ الأنثى ث للذكر مثل حظ الأنثيين فإن كن نساء فوق 2 فلهن ثلثا. Every single time my tongue is in between my teeth.